Hey, this is Cameron, and welcome to the practice log. Alright, well, we got a lot of stuff to do today, so let's go ahead and jump into it, shall we? Well, full disclosure, I actually already practiced, and you're going to be seeing that after this, and I have a little plan for the practice today. I'm going to play the Adagio and Fugue, and if you could, I would like for you to all to kind of just do the same thing, maybe just chime in with where you want to chime in, and I plan on filming another podcast episode where I actually film it and put it on the main channel, and just kind of go over all your comments and maybe go over some stuff that I find on the Fugue. Yeah, so that's pretty much the plan for today, and then, before then, I'm going to talk to you for a bit, give you some life updates, answer some questions. My hands have like some weird eczema rash, so they feel bad. I don't know if it's from like anticipation from the auditions, but this happens like every few years, and it just happens to be happening now. I don't know what's going on with them. They feel horrible. They feel like stingy and rashy. Aren't you glad that you know that my hands have a hand rash? Yeah, the skin just feels like weak and thin. It hurts when I rub them. Other things unrelated to the rash. I don't know how I did this, but I actually have cut back on my drinking. It's insane. I never thought that it would be possible. I know that was the last thing I talked about in one of these chair sessions, but guys, since January started, I've only drank twice, and it's always been on either a Friday or a Saturday. Not consecutively, like separate. Friday, Saturday, so once a week. Yeah, and my God, I drank this past Saturday, and I didn't have that much. I had like 5, like kind of strong beers. I guess that is a lot, actually. But I got so incredibly hungover. It felt horrible. Like, it made me never want to drink again. So, I don't know. And that was like 2 days ago. This is going to be my 3rd day of not drinking again. I think I'm actually just okay only drinking once a week. So that's good. It could have not gone that way. I think that was easier than I was expecting it to be, because I was expecting it to be like really hard to do this. And it's actually to my surprise that it's relatively easy. I think for some people it's very, very hard. And I was sort of expecting to be one of those people. I'm not though. So that's great. Yeah, so my life is just together. I've been going to the gym like every day doing cardio. I started this year at 167 pounds. And I weighed in at 157 after 2.5 weeks of cardio almost every day and like watching what I eat and stuff. So that's pretty dramatic. A lot of that's like water weight, just because I've been eating less in general. Pretty solid stuff there. Pull-ups are going up, getting more pull-ups. Check out my Instagram stories. I post all that stuff there. That's the fitness update. I'm kind of getting back to it. I'm feeling in the swing of things. I'm getting ready for these auditions. I'm feeling pretty good. Let's go ahead and maybe answer some comment questions. I know you guys don't care about this stuff. Let's get to the stuff that you might care about. Here's a good topic of discussion here. Let's talk about getting cold when you don't want to get cold. Because that's something that I've been noticing, and I'm going to answer some of your comments on it and talk about some of my protocol that I'm using now. I guess coincidentally, I don't feel cold at this moment, but I'm also not going to practice on camera right now. After this, I'm just going to get to practicing without filming it, because I already filmed yesterday's session. I'm going to tack that onto this one. I'm really Frankensteining these practice logs together nowadays. When I tried recording that Sore Mozart variations for you, and it was like the morning, it was cold, but I played for like an hour trying to get my hands warm, and my hands would just not warm up. It's like I was wearing sweatshirt, I was wearing sweatpants, I had socks on, and even now my feet are getting a little chilly. But it's like, what am I gonna do when I'm in these auditions and I have like an hour or so in the practice room, and I like can't for the life of me even get warm? Do I need to just run my hands under hot water? Which I think is contributing to my hand dryness right now, just because I do that. Like, I put my hands under hot water to like warm them up. Do I need to get a hair dryer? Which I did get a hair dryer. Freeze, dirtbag. Anyways, yeah, so I have a hair dryer. I'm gonna bring this to the practice rooms to like blast my hands, because somebody in the comments talked about a hair dryer for cold hands. It is a real issue, though, and I think it's psychological. A lot of you have been saying that when you know you have to perform, your hands will just do anything but get warm. I swear to God, I've been getting dreams recently. Like, dreams where I'm getting, like, chased by someone, and I have, like, the keys to my car, and I have to, like, get to my car and then, like, unlock the car and then, like, lock the door. And my hands are just like I know if I can't open the door, I'm gonna die or something. And the whole dream is just about how my hands aren't functioning properly. And like, I have this like intense anxiety. And I think it's from like thinking about these auditions coming up, honestly. And just like general performance anxiety stuff. Like, I think it affects me a lot. Like, my hands, I'm kind of fragile, I guess. I have this expectation of my hands getting warm after a certain amount of time. And then when they're not getting warm, I start to like kind of freak out about it. And then that just makes my hands like even colder somehow. Like, I don't know what does it. And then, of course, after I recorded the Sore Mozart variations for you, my hands immediately warmed up. They just got so warm and I was so ready to play. And that was actually the take that you heard. I did it after. So after my hands warmed up and halfway through playing it, my hands cooled off again. because I got like nervous like halfway through. So it's like, what is the solution to that? Like, I almost have this like dark thought about it where it's just like, am I just like broken or something? Like, am I just not able to do this? Which I know isn't the case. I think that I really need to take active measures in keeping my hands and body warm. And so the hairdryer is one of those things. I got fleece thermal underwear that I'm going to be wearing. I'm going to wear these like anytime I'm expected to perform anything. And I was wearing them this morning, actually. They work pretty well. And what else do I got? I got wool socks. They haven't come in from Amazon yet, but I'm expecting those soon. So those are my precautions right now. Like, just trying to stay warm. Oh yeah, and then gloves and hand warmers too. I have a nice pair of gloves at my dad's house. I'm going to be going there this weekend. Hand warmers, gloves. I'm going to be sweating like a pig in these auditions, but I don't care as long as my hands are warm. I will take sweaty, warm hands over cold, clammy hands any day. That's what I'm doing. Let's go through some of what you guys have to say about staying warm and dealing with nerves, perhaps. Let's jump on into it. So, from Hot Butterwell, you know how to stay warm. It's in your name. Have a hot water bottle handy. Fill it with nearly boiling water or microwave it until it is hot so it can barely be handled, but not to the point of damaging the thing. Sorry, I was imagining like an Aquafina plastic bottle that you just pour boiling water into and it like collapses. I imagine you don't mean that, like a thermos or something. Hold it in your hands for a few minutes for instant warmth. Yeah, that's kind of in the same vein as hand warmers, I suppose. And I do think that that is sort of what I need, because there's something that happens with my body. Because it's like, why do our hands get cold, right? I'm not a scientist, by the way. I'm just saying stuff right now. It's because your core, that's what your body's keeping warm. So it sucks all the heat from like your extremities, keeps it in your core because it like needs it, because there's not enough heat in your body at that moment to actually warm everything up. If there's extra heat in your body, it'll bring it to your extremities. They cool off, hopefully, like from the air and the wind and whatnot. So I think the name of the game is just keeping your core like as warm as possible. And that's why I got the thermal underwear. I think really the name of the game, which is what you're getting at, is bringing your own external heat source, like the hair dryer, like the hot water bottle. Because I think my body, like in these moments, it just doesn't have enough heat. So it doesn't matter how much I cover up with fleece or whatever insulating stuff. I need an external heat source to actually give my body the heat that it gets to that place where it's actually trying to expel heat. Because that's what I want. I want to be so hot that I'm like expelling it. So that way it's in my fingers. Like my fingers should feel hot, you know? So hand warmers, warm water bottle. I can see all that being good. Okay, this one's pretty crazy. This one's from Don Deli. Hey, what's up, Don? I can't find the interview, but a professional guitarist from Cuba, that is where they come from usually, said that he learned to play cold. It removes the excuse he doesn't warm up before gigs. Does he often play in Cuba? I feel like that's not fair. On the other note, I learned to play without nails to remove any excuse / anxiety of breaking one. Dude, heck yeah. That is, that's pretty alpha male right there, I gotta say. To remove the fear and anxiety of breaking strings, I just already come with them broken. I don't care. I just bang on that guitar like Marson. I add a guitar strap to all of my classicals now and just stand and play. My legs used to fall asleep. Dude, you're just a one-man army over here. You just solve problems, man. They should hire you for something. Finally, I stopped memorizing and just learned to improve my sight reading. This removes the anxiety of remembering the music. What is even left at this point? Basically, if you have a problem, just solve it, and no more excuses. I got it. Well, you know, my hands used to get cold, and now I own a hairdryer. Alright, we'll look at one more. So this is from Impete. I don't know too much about guitar playing. That's not a good way to start this one off. But I do get quite cold, and I take an age to recover, and my best tip for a warm-up is really not to get cold in the first place. You guys have some roundabout ways of solving this problem, I gotta say. The solution is just not to have the problem. If at all possible, keep warm for a good length of time before, and also before the guitar hand warm-up. Try to warm your body up to get your blood pumping warm. That is actually an interesting idea. I've been enjoying practicing before and after doing cardio, and I do find that after doing my like hour of cardio a day, my body just feels generally more alert and awake and stuff. So that might be something to consider for the audition. The only rough thing is like all these auditions I'm gonna have to drive to basically. And even if I do work out before, there's gonna be all this time before, and like definitely no weight training before, because weight training just messes up my nerves so bad. If your hands are very cold, you can shake them vigorously to move some extra blood into them. Be careful not to accidentally shake them onto a hard object though. Anyway, I've been really impressed with the improvements you have found throughout these practice logs, and I wish you all the best. Aw, thank you, MP. That's very kind of you. So, anyways, there are a ton of comments to get to. I'm going to get to them in the podcast at some point. I'm going to answer some bigger ones here in the practice logs. I feel like I've been sort of neglecting the practice log recently. I haven't been doing as many of them. I just haven't been filming the practice as much. I've been working on a lot of stuff. I have other projects, too, that I want done by the end of the year. I'll maybe talk about them later. But I don't know. That's kind of what I'm thinking right now. Anywho, let's go ahead and get to the practice now. So, I'll see you in the closet. Yeah, I've just been practicing for a bit. I'm not done practicing today, obviously. It's the morning right now. Oh yeah, and the light broke in the closet, so I have to use a lamp, so it's a little bad. As you guys know, auditions are coming up, and last week I did the Sore Mozart variations, and I've worked a lot on that. I think later this week I'm going to do like a long episode of the podcast that I'll post on the main channel again, and it'll be about what I play for you today and what you guys say about it. It'll be on the Adagio and Fugue. So, you know, if you guys have any critiques or anything like that, feel free to post it, and it will all be addressed in the chair, or not in the chair, in the podcast later this week. But yeah, I'm gonna play now. So, check this out. Adagio and Fugue. There are a few blunders in there, especially in the fugue, but I think everything came out all right enough for me to post that. And if I played it like that in the audition, I wouldn't feel too bad about that, even with those like pretty bad mistakes. Yeah, I mean that's where that's at. Part of me almost wants to do it again, but you know what? That's like how I play it right now. And I think me playing that again, it would just be sort of the same quality and just like different and a waste of time. So I think what I'm going to do now is just go back to slow practicing and all that. Yeah, I mean, just to like reiterate, I'm going to film a podcast episode about this. So, you know, if you have any comments about it, feel free to leave them and I will talk about it in there. And I'll probably do the same thing where I'll like re-listen to it and make notes in my score because I've actually been finding that really helpful. I think it was B-Debs who said to do that. If you made it this far, you know, be sure to subscribe, leave a like, leave some comments. How'd you think of that? Say it sucked. You can say it sucked if you wanted. You'll be mentioned in the podcast. A YouTuber will say your name. Whoa. All the usual stuff. Guitar lessons, email in the description. Get some merch. I'm wearing the merch right now. And yeah. All right, well, I'll see you in the next one.